Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando
O Inglês no Rádio.
I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Olá pessoal, tudo bem? Olá Alexia,
Oi,
tudo bom?
tudo e com você?
Tudo ótimo. Então, hoje vai ser um episódio para iniciantes. E, bom, você sabe uma coisa que me irrita, Alexia?
O quê?
Todos os meus alunos sempre querem dar nomes para... estamos no Uruguai, em Montevideo, tem uma rua bem barulhenta, mas enfim.
O que te irrita?
Quê?
O que te irrita?
Que?
O que... o que te irrita?
Que me irrita. Que todos os meus alunos, Alex está rindo de mim.
O quê?
É que precisam de nomes, tipo, presente perfeito, o passado condicional, qual é essa? Americanos não sabem essas. Então, para mim, faz muito mais sentido dar um exemplo e aprender brincando e dando um pouco de variedade com esse exemplo.
E aprender sem decorar, na verdade, sendo uma coisa
Sim.
natural.
Sim, menos analítico, mais criativo.
Isso.
É a ideia. Então, Alexia, deixa eu te fazer uma pergunta e vamos ver como você responde, tá? So, Alexia, what would you do if you had $1 million? E a gente está falando sobre dólares, não reais, tá?
Sim. Yeah.
Então seria 40 bilhões.
Bilhões.
Falando em espanhol.
Bilhões. Well, if I had $1 million, I would right now buy a house in each country of Europe.
Okay, $1 million, not $1 billion.
But I can find small apartments and small houses that no one wants and transform in a very cool places for digital nomads.
Okay, but each country in Europe?
No, only a few of them.
Okay. So maybe buy some real estate. Anything more? Alexia's concept of money. She understands the grammar, but...
I was thinking, well, of course, I would help people that needed to. Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah, with the extra money you have after you buy a house.
And I
in
would
each
pay all my
country.
debts because right now I have a lot. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Cool. So what would you do if you could suddenly, automatically, right now, speak perfect French? You speak French well, but what if you woke up tomorrow and your French was perfect? Like, bonjour, salut, pif.
I would spend a month.
Parfait.
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 I would spend a year in France.
So if you could speak perfect French, you would spend a year in France right now.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Why not?
So what would you do if you could speak perfect Spanish tomorrow?
I would move to Buenos Aires and Montevideo for sure.
This is very interesting because right now you're in Montevideo and you speak very good Spanish. You're learning Spanish. So it's interesting to me thinking about these questions. But the format, the structure of these questions is always, what would you do if something happens, right? So grammarians, the normal English teachers say this is a conditional. I don't even want to talk about that, but the idea is, what would you do if you, I don't know.
Could fly. Huh.
What would you do if you could fly? I would fly to Brazil during the winter. I don't know. So the idea is, how would you act? And the key word is would. So if something happens, what would you change, right?
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes, please.
Every time that you say, if you had $1 million, what would you do? So I could answer this. If I had $1 million, I would da-da-da-da-da-da. Or I would da-da-da-da-da-da. Both of them are correct, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In the first circumstance, you're simply repeating the information, which I always recommend because it's good practice, just to really internalize the structure of the grammar of the language. But you could say, if I had $1 million, I would buy a boat. Or, what would I do if I had $1 million? If I had $1 million, I would buy a boat. Or just buy a boat. You know? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, in general, a lot of people are scared about this tense, but I think it's pretty easy. What do you think?
It makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, because I know that we shouldn't translate to Portuguese, but I think it's the same thing in Portuguese.
How would you translate this in Portuguese?
O que você faria se você ganhasse $1 million hoje? Então,
Yeah,
it's the same kind of question for me.
exatamente. So can you ask me one question with what would you do if?
What would
And
you...
it doesn't have to be to do. It could be what would you think if? What would you see if?
What would you think if Trump was reelected?
What would I think if Trump was reelected? Shit. Well, Portugal, sei lá. Meus amigos canadenses.
Here we go.
Okay, so Alexia, I think that's a good place to end the show for today. Mais alguma pergunta?
Não,
Alguma
só
dúvida?
isso.
Tá tudo certo. Então, até já já.
Bye.
Tchau.